Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here with our co host, Irv, back at another episode here today. We're here on season 7, episode number 14 on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I hope you guys are enjoying your Monday. We are coming to you live, going to be recapping our March Madness weekend. So we're on to Sweet 16, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live on Thursday. We got some good matchups ahead of us, but we're going to be going over what happened to our bracket over the weekend. I know you guys caught us on Friday. A lot has happened since Friday, so let's get right into it. If you're new to the live, don't forget to share, like, and follow. This will be coming on YouTube on the Fire Sports Pod, so don't forget to check it out. So let's get right into it, shall we? Here we go. So first up, guys, we're going to be going over our round of 32 and what happened. So first up, Irv, what a game we had between Auburn and Creighton.
Yeah,
Creighton gave it to Auburn in the first half. Second half, not so much. They pulled away at the end, 82-70. And then Michigan, man, was a shocker. I thought Michigan was losing this game, dude. They were down big. They came all the way back, and they beat the crap out of Texas A&M really badly late in that game. They just couldn't get stops for Texas A&M. So we were right about this. Other than Louisville losing to Creighton, this matchup right here, we were basically everything was correct. So we didn't do bad on this one, Irv, other than Louisville and Creighton. So
yeah. I mean, we still had Michigan and Auburn to win, round of 32. But
yeah,
just what I know I wasn't here for Friday for the recap, but for Louisville to lose to Creighton, I mean, I know there was like a little bit of injuries with between players and stuff, and I just feel like way good for Clemson to beat Louisville, but it was a matchup. I think they were up by 12 against Auburn. Uh,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, they were up by 12 like in the first half, but then Auburn just continued to give them belt to ass type of action, and then ultimately came out with with like a 12-point win.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
and then same for Michigan, where the Aggies was dominating them in the first half, and then the second half. That's why March Madness right now is probably better to watch the NBA basketball. And I'm only saying this because right now they're literally chasing for that NBA Finals like championship. And all these games, all these close games, even in the women's side has been very good as well. But yeah, as we review, yeah, but overall, just good wins by Michigan and Auburn to move on to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, most definitely. Carson V says NBA is a joke. Eh,
I
most
feel like I feel like at times, just because they're professional players, they already made it to the top. They're not giving it. I feel like they're just not giving it their very best. College students, they're still trying to make it to the NBA just to say they were in the NBA, and that's why
exactly.
they're giving. That's why they're giving their whole life out there on the court. That's why you have teams Auburn, who's the number one seed, was down 12 and ended up beating in the first half. Ended up beating Creighton by 12. Michigan was down by a tremendous amount to the Aggies in the first half. Second half, beat them by freaking beat them by the score 91-79. So it was just crazy to see that, like, college basketball right now is definitely more watchable than the NBA for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Carson also said they'd be having G League talent score 30 in the NBA right now. Not
Yeah,
wrong. You're
not
not
not,
wrong.
not wrong at all.
No. So we were right there. The other games, this one we were pretty much on the fold when it come to Michigan State. Um, but we can roll with Ole Miss beating North Carolina. I did not see Iowa State, but Ole Miss, they're a good team, man. They shot the crap out of the ball in the two rounds against Ole Miss, and I mean against North Carolina and Iowa State. So definitely deserve to win. I think Michigan State has beaten New Mexico, and then now they're playing against Ole Miss. That was a hard fought game, Michigan State, New Mexico. That game was going back and forth. Michigan State pulled away at the end. But Michigan State, man, they've had some close wins. Against Bryant was giving them some heat in the first half, and then they pulled away big time at the second half. New Mexico was a close game against Them, it could have went either way down the stretch. Turnovers, missed shots, missed opportunities from New Mexico. Michigan State capitalized. So Ole Miss, Michigan State. This is going to be a pretty good game. But for these both matchups, Auburn and Michigan State, Ole Miss, we have Auburn beating Michigan, and then we have Michigan State taking down Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to be a tough one. Michigan also might be a tough one from Auburn, but I think the two better teams are going to win and then advance to the Elite Eight. So now we are going to be moving on to the other side of the bracket where we had Duke take down Baylor. And then Arizona take down Oregon. So in this part of the bracket, everything was correct. We've had Duke beating Mount St. Mary's. We had Baylor beating Mississippi State. We had Oregon taking down Liberty, and we had Arizona taking down Akron. Arizona took down Oregon. That was one hell of a game. Love was absolutely tremendous last night. Turned into that guy that he was in North Carolina, and he was in Arizona so far. But we haven't seen that tremendous type of performance with a good efficiency shooting wise from Love in a while. So it was good to see that. And it's going to be a matchup that he's familiar with, Duke. So we'll see what happens there. I'm hoping for a great matchup. Drew, appreciate the follow. Excited to see Auburn take Michigan down. KZ said, yeah, it's going to be a good game. But I do think it's going to be a good game, though. Definitely will be a good game. But Arizona, man, versus Duke. I said it to myself last night. I said Arizona is going to give Duke a pretty hard fight, but I think Duke takes down Arizona in a very close game, probably very close, similar to Arizona versus Oregon. I don't know, Irv, what do you think about this game? Because this game could really come down to the wire.
Duke versus Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like just Duke is Duke. You know what I mean? So I
Mm.
think, I mean, they dominated Baylor. And Baylor's not even that bad of a team in my opinion. But I feel like again, it comes down to health. I mean, I feel like if the star players are ready to play, if the Cooper Flag plays out of his mind, I mean, I feel like Duke's taking Arizona without a doubt.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
That's what just I think.
I got Duke still. We both got Duke, but I think Arizona will give them a run for their money. Now going down below, for the team that would hopefully advance to face Duke. Here was a bit of a mix-up. We had St. Mary's losing to Vanderbilt. That was right there, and then BYU just edged out Wisconsin. It was contemplating a foul at the end of that call. Wisconsin had a jump shot at the end to tie the game. Wasn't called, and BYU won. I said it for myself against VCU, and I said people were saying, "Oh, why do you have BYU losing to Wisconsin?" I said they're shooting if they're very inconsistent. If they start shooting really well, they'll blow the doors off really anybody in the country. If they
Yeah.
start out slow and they can't get up on their feet, it's going to be a hard night. BYU has so far been able to shoot the lights out,
Mhm.
especially against Wisconsin. So I definitely think Ole Miss upsetting MSU. There's a possibility. Ole Miss is a very good team. Michigan State has their stuff cut out for them, but I think Michigan State with the coach behind him, I think they can get the job done. So now this game would be BYU versus Alabama. This is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be a very high scoring game. But we're taking Alabama with the win. So it would match up like this. It would basically be Duke versus Arizona, BYU versus Alabama, and we both have Duke versus Alabama, Auburn versus Michigan State.
What
What
a
do you?
match, man! All
Yeah,
these
these
matches.
these are going to be some good matches.
Hmm.
CB said they hit a hot streak at the right time. I got BYU. Hey, BYU's the thing, but again, I can't like go back on my pick. This is my bracket, so I'm sticking with my bracket. But BYU definitely has a chance. BYU, Arizona, Michigan, all the teams that I'm not picking to win have chances to upset these teams. It's not like these teams, maybe the only one you could say would be either Duke or Auburn if they start really good and Cooper Flag and or Auburn as a team starts shooting perfect, then they definitely then they might blow them out. But right now, I think all the teams that are underdogs coming into these matchups definitely have a shot to beat these top teams. Bama over Duke. Um, That's tough, man. I like Cooper Flag, and I think Duke's prize for that run to the championship. But if you guys think otherwise, then again, this is what we love about March Madness. Arizona over Duke. That I can see that, and most definitely could see Arizona beating Duke, but I'm sticking with Duke because that's on my
Why? Why do you think Arizona has not has a chance? But why do you think they could beat Duke? What is your thing?
Because Caleb Love is him, is literally that guy, is that dude, and he will put Duke on their heels. It's just that can everybody else around him help him out as well, because basketball as much as anybody. It's not a one man operation; it's a
It's
team
not
sport. So if your
absolutely.
guy can drop 27, yeah, like he dropped 29 or 27 last night, but he's got to be able to have some complementary help from all parts of the team, defensively and offensively, to help him out. And if they could do that, then they definitely got a chance. Kentucky belt to ass Tennessee for the third time this season. Hell yeah, Kentucky definitely beating Tennessee all day, every day. So now this is the next one. So we're gonna go to the West here, and here's how we think, man. We were right there. Oklahoma, man, was right there. They're gonna be really good. Fears is
Ah, I know it, but you
best,
see, I had
best young.
UConn.
Yeah, but you were very. If you were watching that game, you were very on the seat. If you were a UConn fan or picked them, because Oklahoma was there, man. They just could not buy a layup. It literally was like a couple layups at the end that they had. But UConn deserved to win. They played well. Oklahoma played great almost the entire game up until the last like couple minutes of the game. Um, so UConn advanced. I picked Oklahoma. Irv picked UConn, and then Florida against UConn. This was one hell of a matchup yesterday. But
Yeah,
Florida gets the job done. Sends Dan Hurley home early. But what a run! Two back-to-back championships. Went to the round of 32. Was a point two a basket. Two baskets away from going into the Sweet 16 and have a shot
mhm.
at competing for the championship. But Florida was the better team. You saw it there. And then Colorado State took down Memphis. That was on me. I didn't realize until the end. I know you guys were letting me know, but I really did not realize that Memphis was losing their star and then the backup to the star coming into this game. And Colorado State just shot the shit out of the ball. So they played really well. Evans was good for them. And then they played Maryland. And I don't know what you guys think, but did you think the guy from Maryland on that game winner traveled? A lot of people are going up and down if that was a travel or not. Hey, what's up, Aiden? How you doing? I it was a travel. I mean, the carry step was there. It was a hell of a shot, but it was a travel. They definitely missed it, but still, they didn't call it. It is what it is. But Maryland definitely got away with something. But they're a good team. They're really gonna get tested against Florida. I think Florida wins by at least 10. I don't think it's really gonna be a close game in the second half at the end of the game. I think it's a real big time. Well, Colorado State should have been called for 2 flagrants, but weren't. Okay, I didn't see that. I didn't watch the entire game, so I was going back and forth between multiple games. As a Maryland fan, Florida is much better. Aiden said. All right, well, I appreciate the honesty. Thanks for having the honesty there, Aiden. Always good. Now here we basically got everything correct except for freaking
St. John's, man, what
Arkansas.
a game for
St. John's.
Arkansas.
I mean, St. John's absolutely effed it. They. I think Rick Pitino got out coached. I know. The guy, their best player, was like 3 for 17 from the field. I don't know how you don't have him on the floor. I don't care if your best player is 1 for 30. The guy's your only guy that down the stretch he can get a bucket when he wants to. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. They sold bad. I had them
Yeah,
as a first round exit. Yeah, there was no way they were losing to Omaha, but the way they played against Arkansas, Calipari outcoached Rick Pitino, and they just didn't have an answer. St. John's was in that game. They're down by 2 with less than 3 to go. Don't know how St. John's doesn't pull that out and have your best player on the bench for the last 4 minutes of the game. I just don't understand that. So I
I
think Rick
mean,
Pitino really fumbled that one.
I saw a lot of the
I
press
don't think that.
conference at
Yep.
the press conference at the end, and I don't know, like they just kept trying to ask him and trying to kind of bite into it saying, "Why did you sit down your best player? Why should you sit down your best player?"
Mm-hmm.
And even he said it himself, but like not really, because he said he didn't want to talk like smack about him. But he basically just said like, the best player shot, 3 of 15, 3 of 17 from the field.
Yeah,
He tried his best, and the one person that always gets his buckets, he couldn't make any buckets, so he had to sit him for the rest of the game
yeah.
because yeah.
Like I said, I don't know. There's a lot you can really say with that, but I just don't agree with it. But Wyatt said you had them losing against Kansas. Yeah, no, I didn't like Kansas the way they were playing. Arkansas was the better team overall. They were just the worse seeding. I thought Arkansas was still better. Arkansas gets their best player back for the game Thursday. Do you think it'll be a factor? Oh, definitely. Definitely would be. If to be honest, I had St. John's, so F this game. I'm probably rocking with Arkansas. Fellow coach of Kentucky, Calipari. I'm rocking with Arkansas. If I'm going, if I'm, I don't really care about this game. This game didn't help me at all. So this side of the bracket. Um, yeah, and Drake upset in Missouri. I called that all day. That was a chat pick, and then I looked into it, and Drake I thought was the better team. They shot the crap out of the ball.
Mhm.
Kentucky ain't getting past the Sweet 16. Okay, so Wyatt, I appreciate you commenting and jumping in the live. People keep saying Kentucky was going to lose to Troy. People keep saying Kentucky was going to go lose to Illinois, and now people are going to say Kentucky's going to lose to Tennessee.
I think the Troy one was a troll,
I
but
think that one was, but it could
a lot of
definitely
people were saying UConn was going to sell with Illinois.
You
A
mean
lot of
Kentucky?
people. I
Kentucky.
mean, yeah, sorry, Kentucky. They said a lot of people said Kentucky was going to lose to Illinois. And look at that dominant win from
Yeah, no.
your Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, Ryan, you keep my bracket 97 percentile is that good? I mean, I guess if it's 97%, I mean you're commenting like 10 times in this chat that your bracket's 97%. I got Duke in Florida. Yeah, I got the same thing in the championship. I got another bracket. I did a couple brackets because I was in a couple different leagues and stuff like that. So I think one of the brackets I did for fun with my dad, and we have Kentucky. That's our team. My dad went to that college, so that's why I'm a Kentucky fan. But I'm not a biased Kentucky fan. I'll let you know. Tech is busting your bracket. I'm sorry. Again, I didn't have Texas Tech. I don't have anything in there. St. John's was supposed to be in there. If Texas Tech wins, congratulations. Texas Tech is not beating Florida. So just to let you know, Texas Tech is not beating. Could Arkansas go to the Final Four realistically? I don't think so. I don't think they're getting past Florida. I think they could play against Florida in the Elite Eight. But
They definitely have a chance in the Elite Eight, because I think
to
that's a
get
good
there, I don't
matchup,
think they're
especially
beating.
if the best player is coming back as well. You add your best player into the mix, and I wouldn't sleep on Arkansas, but I don't think they're passing Florida. I think that's
Maryland is beating Florida. I'm sorry. If it happens, it happens, but I don't think that's happening. Tech is winning it all. No. I had Texas Tech going to the Sweet 16, but not past that. Yeah, I think Texas Tech either they fall in the Sweet 16 against Arkansas, or they versus Florida and they lose. But I'm gonna roll with, if I got nothing here, which I don't, or I had St. John's, I'm rocking with Arkansas. I'm going with a nice upset here. Thank you. Some people are Maryland fans and saying they're not beating Florida. I mean, that's realistic.
I'm glad we have good, sound-minded people.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're gonna go to the Midwest side, right? We're gonna go to the Midwest side. This one is pretty good, other than Clemson killing me. Did not see that coming, but it is what it is. But Houston beating Gonzaga, close game. Houston gets the job done. Houston against Purdue. I had Clemson getting there, so I'm probably rocking with Houston. But there could be a chance Purdue could win that game, but I'd probably go with Houston, but we'll see. I haven't done my picks yet, so I don't know. So those two, the Texas Tech, Arkansas, and the Houston Purdue, do not have any cares for. Purdue not beating Houston, yeah, that's what I have that too. So basically, hope game for Purdue, joke game for Purdue. In the instance of, I don't know. So we'll see. Home game. Oh, for Purdue. Yeah, I mean, I get that. It is what it is. But so we got that wrong. Illinois, the whole side of over here. was all correct. So we did pretty good on this side. Kentucky versus Tennessee. Again, guys, this is the third time Kentucky's playing against Tennessee. We're 2-0. There's definitely a chance that Tennessee beats Kentucky. I just think Kentucky's defense is finally playing really well, and their offense can never be better. And we are hurt. So if we didn't, I wish we had Jackson Robinson healthy. But if we had him, this would be a whole different story. But I took Kentucky to beat Tennessee. So here's an upset for you if you guys want it. I got Kentucky beating Tennessee. I would probably have Houston beating Purdue. And a real big upset, I'd probably rock with Arkansas if I'm being honest, to take down Texas Tech. Just the history behind Calipari going now to Arkansas, I think they're on a good run, but I think their run would end against Florida. No matter Texas Tech or Arkansas, I think their runs end against Florida.
I agree with that. Wait, so you're saying for Kentucky, you said that how many people are hurt? Like for Kentucky,
There's their pretty much their best player going into the season was Jackson Robinson, and
uh-huh.
he got injured throughout almost the entire year. He barely was even healthy. So I'm rocking with Kentucky. That's if they were fully healthy, I would probably have them literally in the championship most likely. I mean, if they got to go through Duke, that's going to be tough, but I would give them a fighting chance if they were fully healthy, but they're not. So that's why I have them losing against them. Realistically. Can I be a host? No, I'm sorry. I've had hosts come in here and decide to do some weird shit, so I'm not having anybody host. So sorry. Um, Tennessee's hot right now. Not good for the Cats, yeah, but the Kentucky Wildcats are hot right now, which is not good for Tennessee. So I mean, I think both teams are hot right now. It's going to be a hell of a game on 7:30. It's going to be one hell of a game. So you had Clemson in the Elite Eight. Yeah, I had Clemson in the Elite Eight. I thought they played really well, but they didn't. So Auburn winning it all. Yeah, that's a possibility.
I think we had them. Well, no, we didn't have them that far out,
Ooh.
right? Auburn,
No, we have them going to against Michigan State in
Michigan
the
State,
Elite Eight and then losing to Michigan State.
the 20-plus-year-old team.
Yeah. I like Michigan State big time. I think they're a real good team, but why do you think Florida will beat Duke? That's a good question. I just think all around, Florida has really everything. I think Florida is the best team in the country. And I think they've proved that time again, time again. I mean, against UConn, it's a tough team. I mean, Dan Hurley got that team rolling. They won back-to-back championships. You knew that was going to be tough. Duke's got young youth. They got Cooper Flag. I just think Florida's just got all around a overall all around a better team. I think Duke has the more flashy, the more athletic guys, but I think Florida's got the more scrappy veteran young youth combination. That's kind of what where I was going with. What do I think about Kentucky and Tennessee, Matthew? Well, I think Kentucky wins this game, and I just think Kentucky wins this game. I just think that Kentucky's playing really well. Their defense is finally playing as well as their offense. And I think that was our big question coming into the tournament, if our defense can actually wake the hell up. And our defense woke the hell up against Illinois. So I'm happy the way we're playing right now. So that's why I'm going. What's your total points? If Florida and Duke, it's 167. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored. So I'd go with that. Duke will win it all, I think you meant to say. Michigan, Auburn. It's tough. Drewski say. So, but Swall, good question. Appreciate the likes. If you guys are new here, don't forget to drop a follow, like, and share. We'll be doing this for the NBA playoffs, MLB when it starts up, NHL, and obviously finish up the college basketball. Matthew, appreciate the follow. Swall, appreciate the roses. Thank you very much. So yeah, I mean, what do you think, for our last couple thoughts here? Because my birthday's tomorrow. I'm going out with my girl right now, so we got to
Yes,
get this
sir.
with. What are your final thoughts? I would say.
I mean, I feel like our picks were pretty solid. I think you explained it pretty well. I mean, obviously the chat, they have like their own opinions on it. I think the one that's probably the one I've seen the most was definitely like the Purdue and Houston one. I think somebody said that they don't really have Houston beating Purdue. I think they have Purdue over Houston as some kind of upset. The Kentucky Wildcat one is also a good upset as well because Tennessee is a good team, especially if you guys haven't had like the healthiest year. I mean, I'm hoping for you guys. You know what I mean? I think you guys definitely have a shot of beating Tennessee, but I mean, it's going to be one hell of a matchup for sure.
Yeah,
Got
no, most definitely. And I just wanted to Maryland will upset. All right. So I'll appreciate the whatever the hell. Confetti. Yeah, that was confetti. I didn't know what the hell that was. um but yeah, so I think it's really you will be crying Thursday evening. All right. Cool. I'm happy. Just let you know I don't cry when my team loses.
I think to be honest, Kentucky just has it. They have a shot. It's just what okay, as you not just as a Kentucky fan, but just as a fan of college basketball
I'm
in
not
general.
even being it as a fan. Like that's the
So
that
you
pick
so you
that pick
genuinely okay,
that
you
pick has
genuinely
nothing
have
to do with my bias. Now, I'm biased if I'm saying that Kentucky beats Duke. Yeah, that's bias. I straight up think Kentucky's the better team. And they
against
proved it
Tennessee.
throughout the year over Tennessee. They proved it throughout the year. And they
And
played
they've been shorthanded, right? They've been shorthanded
yeah,
with
they've been
the
shorthanded against Tennessee. They were shorthanded both times, and they've already beaten Duke. Obviously, it was like the first 3 games of the season, but they've already beaten Duke. They've played against Florida. They've played against Auburn. They've played against the top teams. Yes, they've got probably. I think they got blown out in the Florida and Auburn game, but we were undermanned. We weren't healthy. So again, like, didn't you all lose to Arkansas? Again, that is a we were not fully healthy, and that was a revenge game for Calipari all day, every day. Um, they beat Florida actually. Okay, so then I got it mixed up then. So then that's on me. Yeah, we did beat Florida. So we beaten Florida, and then we've beaten Tennessee twice. We've played against Auburn, and we've beaten Duke. So I mean, we definitely legitimately have a shot to get to the championship. I just
yeah,
think that I don't think Duke's going to fumble against us. But hey, I would love to be wrong. F my bracket. If I'm wrong and we win and we're in the championship, I don't care if I pick Florida. My bracket will be nice, and my bracket we pick Florida, but I'm rooting for Kentucky all the way.
that would oof.
Exactly, Nick. That's what I'm saying. Duke is way better than that first game. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying Duke right now would beat Kentucky, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, but
It's
we're talking about right now Tennessee and Kentucky
yeah,
because
we're not talking
Tennessee
about Duke. I'm just saying, like
on
I
paper
have
they're the
Duke
better
beating
on paper
Kentucky
they are the better
right
team.
there. Duke is beating Kentucky. So I'm not saying that Kentucky's beating Duke, but we will definitely have a shot. It just will depend on how well we play and if we can actually get stops and if we can stop Cooper Flag. And right now, no one really is able to stop him. So we'll see. I don't know. Kentucky way more tested than Duke. That's why it's going to be a good freaking team.
Definitely.
That could go either way. Tennessee versus Kentucky. Exactly. Tennessee has lost 2 straight to Kentucky in the regular season, but this is March Madness now. And Kentucky has been doing pretty well, and we got to just see. So there's definitely going to be questions. Caleb Love ending Duke's season one last time would feed families. I would love to see it. If Caleb Love was able to knock down Duke and for Arizona to beat Duke, that would be awesome. But
Oh my gosh,
I just don't think
that
it's
would
going to
be
happen.
crazy,
I
bro.
just really don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be tough. But yeah, I appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks again for joining the show. That would be pretty much it. I gotta go, got to get to a dinner, so I appreciate it, guys. We'll be back on a show on Wednesday. That would probably be and then our following show would be Friday. So Friday would be on going over the March Madness from the night before. Wednesday will be kind of just a regular show. So if you guys want to stay tuned and tune into our show, it would be season 7, episode number 15 on the Fire Sports Pod. We'll be talking about some sports and some stories going around the league. But if anything, guys, we'll see you guys Friday for season 7, episode 16. We'll be recapping what happened Thursday and what's upcoming that Friday. So we'll see you guys then. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. This is for the Fire Sports Pod. And Irv, we are here and we are out.
Sure.
Recap
Peace out.
Monday. Peace out, guys.